Now then, Squires, I want to talk about an American hero.
Locked in for greatness today because it's time to absolutely hammer some Excel spreadsheets.
This man is David Clarke. I just can't stop getting motivated to rule, to conquer.
It's been a long week, lots of hours of work, as y'all have been seeing.
This guy is a real gem. And you look at him and you think, hey man, this guy looks like a baddie. He looks like some 80s movie villain, right? Maybe some guy that fought Rocky or some guy that put loads of bombs somewhere. But you've got to look past that. You can't judge this guy because this guy is someone the American economy is solely reliant on.
Please carry the American economy for me because I got wicked sick today.
This is someone that I would show my dying unconscious father post heart attack a video of to try and get his heart going again, to try and get him up off of the deathbed to go get after it. Autism is very hard to spot nowadays. It's not like back in the day when someone would collect stamps. Now it comes in lots of forms. All right, it's developing a visual resistance to the naked eye. But I'm very qualified. All right, I studied it. All right, I don't know if I have it. I don't think I do. A lot of people like to claim they do. When I think we should just let the people that really clearly have it be celebrated. All right. And why I'm saying this is because David Clarke has autism, I think. It took me a few weeks to sniff it out on this cat, and it was tricky. The sorts of things they were saying, things I've picked up from his videos about Etch-a-Sketches.
I got full 45 minutes of sleep this afternoon, but I still only managed 85 Etch-a-Sketches.
The results have just come in. He's passed. And good for him. We need more people like this. We need more good-looking people with autism. But I do love this bro. I would go and get whatever he's after with this guy. I love him. I love David Clarke, all right? I'll scream it from the rooftops. I'll scream it down the sewage pipes. I'll scream it in an old woman's ear. They need to hear this. I'm not afraid of my love and my feeling for this young man. I kind of just want to live with him. I kind of want to just conquer shit and just, work. He makes me really motivated. And it's a funny personality trait to be this guy, this go-getter, this go get up and get after it and go take what's yours. Because he's built his whole personality on this, and you can't let off the gas when you're this guy. So choose carefully. This guy, he can never, bring out a Revolver album. He can never switch to the electric guitar, and he'll still have fans. If this guy even as much as takes 3 days off on a holiday, a little weekend getaway to Key West, he's going to have people wanting him dead. The American economy is going to put in minus numbers that month. I think all of his friends will lose respect for him. I wonder what it was like to teach this guy, because I've been thinking about teachers, and I've already said how much I hate them all and what a worthless profession it is. And if you do it, I don't want to be friends with you or have an adult conversation with you. But having said that, teachers do have one good bit, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know if you're aware of it, but it's the art of telling a child that he's never going to amount to anything. How many times have you heard someone successful be interviewed, and they all have the same story? One of these teachers has took them out of class or done it in front of everyone in class, and they've told them they won't amount to anything. Just some teacher one day thinking, you know what? Fuck this little thing. And, just leaning down to his stupid little face and telling me he won't amount to anything. It's beautiful. But they all say it, these teachers, don't they? These people that are in positions of nurturing the youth and making them feel like they are going to amount to something. They are the ones that are telling them they're not. It's so good. It's making me almost want to be a teacher. The first day of class, you probably only get one a year. They probably all sit in the teacher's staff room, all probably just smoking, with all the pictures of the kids on a big board, and they sit there at the start of the year and they go, "I'm having David Clarke for 100." Everyone turns around and goes, "What? The guy that gets after it? You're telling him he's not going to amount to anything." and they're all placing bets. They're all getting on action. It's like a big death pool. It's like a death pool for children, right? That aren't going to amount to anything. And but they must have such a good time. They must all come in and go, I'm going to do it today. I think I'm having a bad day, guys. And all the teachers go, "Ooh, who are you going to say it to? Who are you going to say it to?" And they go, "Oh, do you know that little annoying black kid? I'm going to fucking say it to him." And they all go in, "Yes! Oh, God, this gives me a will to live. This makes it actually worth getting paid no money to be spat at and to be humiliated in front of people that are half my age." Whoa! It's the only bit of power they have, don't they? They get books thrown at them and they get laughed at by everyone, and no one respects teachers. So the only thing they have, and I think it's all agreed upon, even with the parents, I think they have to sign a waiver when you enroll your kids at schools that says your kid may be subject to being told they won't amount to anything. But I never got that blessing, believe it or not. No one ever said to me, "Listen, son, you're not doing it and you never will do it." So I don't think I will be successful. I'm always saying how horrible this country is, and it is horrible. But I've been trying to put my head together and do a little bit of research because I like doing that. I like bringing you guys new information, putting a new lens on the way everyone looks at things. Let me just say this: the privatisation of the public toilet was the downfall of this country. Water companies were privatised in 1989, and they want everyone to believe that wet wipes are the cause of all our problems. You know these things, right? I use them. Okay, I think everyone should use them, even if they say not to use them. But the problem is flushing them down the drain. And let me just say why you should use them first. If you had shit on your hand, you wouldn't wipe it with a tissue and be happy with it, would you? You'd want some sort of other wet thing, some substance, maybe a bidet. The point is, you're not just using tissue, so why would you treat your bum like that? Okay, it's rough, using a lot of tissue, and yeah, it's gay as well. I'm sorry to break it to you guys. But the reason why I'm so annoyed at these water companies, okay, because they're telling you can't flush wet wipes down the toilet. The amount of dirty wet wipes I produce a day, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where else I would put them if not down the toilet. The thought of having them in a bin bag next to my sink, or a little I don't know, a little hole in my garden that I stuff them into at night, it makes me want to go on jihad. All right, I'm expecting to flush these things down the toilet and then never think about them ever again, and for some idiot to have to sort through them in a big water treatment facility. Start doing your job. Why don't they install billion-pound suction tubes into everyone's bathroom? You know, like the things in supermarkets where the people on the tills would transfer money with. They'd like put cash in a tube and then go, and it'd go and fly around the shop. Let's have them in every house. Let's have £1 billion suction infrastructure where we can put wet wipes and suck them up and they're disposed of. If it's such a problem in the sewers, let's get a big tube in the sky and store them all there. The reality of the situation, though, guys, is we pay these water companies money to dispose of our sewage and to treat our water. And these cocksuckers, they take that money and they dump the sewage in the sea. All right, that's a good scam, isn't it? That's actually true. A lot of these companies, they just pump the sewage that we put down the toilet into the rivers, into our drinking water, into the lakes that our children swim in. Guys, there's been a 28% reduction in public toilets since the 2000s. Look at this graph. Look how constant the eroding of our rights has been since the 2000s, guys. That's 28% less places to shit. They're making everyone feel like an animal. Now you've got to do it outside, and I'll get to that later. By transferring our toilets to corporations, because that's where they are now. You've got to walk into a fucking McDonald's if you want to have a shit in peace, past the guy that's about to tie one off on the baby changing platform. We've forfeited our right to advertisement-free excretion, ladies and gentlemen. No longer can you just go and have a shit. You've got to walk past an ad, have the thought of maybe having to buy something while you're in a premises. It's ever since Princess Diana died, this has been happening. This is a funny quote that I read on the website. Whether you're traveling somewhere new for the first time or heading into the hustle and bustle of your hometown, it's always handy to know where the nearest public toilet is when nature calls. Which is true, okay? I've shit myself a few times. It happened mostly when I was younger, walking home from school. Um, I used to have a real fright and anxiety about being the kid that shit himself at school, and that, compounded everything. But it is very, very funny to have to plan where you're going if you go out into town on a map of all the toilets, like you're doing some sort of pooey orienteering. Me, a seasoned professional, just wears a diaper. Okay? There's nothing more freeing than soiling yourself while you're being screamed at by a bus driver. It's like, have you ever pissed the bed? That first millisecond you do it, you're like, oh my God. It's like a warm blanket, and then it turns into warm blood. What I used to do before school, I used to wake up an hour before school, right? And I'd go and get into bed with my dad, right? Not in a gay way, but just to wake up with in the TV on, it was warm, and it was a double bed. It was so much more comfy than my piece of shit single bed. And basically, I just pissed myself in my dad's bed, which is so funny. Um, I also pissed myself on a lad's holiday when I was probably 17. Me and some friends went round down to Norfolk, where we had a bit of a stay away. First time being away from the parents, and they actually allowed me to take some alcohol down there. So I got like 6 beers. Obviously, as soon as we got there, we started drinking and drank all the alcohol on the first night. I was sleeping with my friend that night who owned the house. So someone you don't want to, you know, um, piss off or piss on or piss in the bed next to him, which I did. And this is genius, all right? Imagine being a boy, a young man who's hungover, his thoughts are scrambled, and he's just woken up and he's pissed the bed. In my genius head, I thought, I'm going to go get a glass of water, right? Start drinking it. I'm going to wake my mate up and be like, ooh, God, love this water, mate. I'll get you a glass of water, and then throw it on the bed and act like I just dropped it. It was genius. Everyone believed me as well, which I was so happy about. I was like, damn, what else can I get away with? The privatisation of the public toilet was the downfall of this country. But I do think it's a global theory, especially a theory that I've transferred over to our friends across the pond, the Americans. Because if you look at this little map of their toilet scheme, there's obviously a very big divide in the country with available toilets. The Northwest has got toilets to give away. The East Coast and the South, they're really struggling for toilets. So I thought, why is that? What sort of effect is that going to have on the population? The first thing that I came up with is let's have a look at the Pornhub search categories. Let's have a look what women are looking at. Over at the top left, where there's the most toilets, we're getting things like fetish. We're getting things like tattooed women. All right, women are suddenly feeling, with the amount of toilets that they've been given, they're starting to get a little bit confused, a little bit dazed and confused. Look at the Bible Belt. Look how it's all race related. What's all that about? It's all ebony, Latina, German. Why is that? Everyone, nobody's got toilets. So now everyone wants to get racial. It's creating more racists, ladies and gentlemen. The lack of funding to public toilets is creating a society with more racial division. But I didn't just look at the porn category, all right? I'm not just a stupid male who's only obsessed about watching girls swallow things online. because that's not me. I'm about interested in watching girls create things online, okay? Create things out of their ass. Create screams. Voters who didn't vote for Hillary or Trump, would you look at this? This is criminal. This is criminal. People who have more options of toilets tend to bring that into their political leaning. So people that have the availability of public toilets aren't so set on having two candidates for the American presidential race. They're keeping an open mind. Is that to do with the fact that they don't have to worry about where they're going to shit because they know the amount of public toilets are so fruitful in their area? I don't know. So it's sad. The people in the South have been disregarded, and I don't know if it's a psyop, if the government are purposely limiting their public toilet exposure. But it's obviously having an impact on them because these people have gone so crazy, they actually voted for Hillary or Trump. People who had nowhere to shit couldn't distinguish what shit was and what wasn't.